welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be kind of like a quick one, but I thought it was going to be like an important video to do and just share with you guys things that I stopped buying in 2020, things that I will no longer be purchasing 2021. Some of them I actually stopped buying before 2020, but for every single item that I mention, I am going to explain my reasons for not buying them anymore. Like, I'm all about that whole minimalist lifestyle, you guys kind of know, but then like decluttering is one area of it that I'm really taking seriously. And if it is something that I cannot do without, there's so many things I think that we automatically buy that are actually not essential, and that we have other alternatives to them that don't take up as much space or cause as much harm just to ourselves or to the environment as them, if this makes any sense. So in this video, I'm not going to be talking about just beauty products. It's going to be beauty, lifestyle, household. It's just different things, different areas of my life that I have decided to let go of. The first thing that I'll no longer be buying is bleach, and I felt like it's very, very important that I start this video with it because, guys, this last year, okay, let me get into it. There was a video that I did last year. I did like a day in my life video. I did everything in that video. I even did my laundry in that video. And if you've been following me for a very long time, you know that my sheets are white. I typically use white sheets to sleep. So before the lockdown, what I'll do is I would outsource laundry for my bedding because it's so large sometimes and I don't really have any space to kind of let them dry properly in my apartment. I've kind of figured out how to do that now, but I had to figure out how to do that during the lockdown. And because I started washing my sheets myself instead of taking them to the laundry, because that's just one area of my laundry that I tend to outsource, I started washing. So I would use like detergent and I would use bleach and I'll use fabric softener. Guys, I strongly believe now that my skin was reacting, because I was reacting to something for a while last year and I didn't even know what I was reacting to. After I started dermatologist, we started kind of excluding, like we started doing the whole system of where you start figuring out what did you introduce into your life around the time that, you know, that allergy popped up. And guys, it was bleach. And the only reason why I would use it was because I wanted to keep my sheets white. The reason why I'm saying it in this video is for you guys to know that bleach is actually, if you're someone who wears white all the time, because I know that some of us have jobs that require that we wear white too. If you're also someone that likes white bedding like I do, you don't necessarily need to use bleach. I'm not going to be calling any brands, but I know that you guys know the particular brand of bleach that I used in that video. Guys, there are actually so many other ways, and I had to learn that there were so many other ways to actually keep your sheets white without bleach. Guys, white vinegar is very, very good for taking stains out. For white laundry, white vinegar is good. Another thing that is also very good is baking soda. These are all more gentle on the skin than bleach is. Like, guys, bleach is terrible. Terrible, I'm telling you guys from my experience now. You can use it to do so many other things and to disinfect and maybe kill germs and maybe in the bathroom once in a while, but it's not necessarily what you want to be putting in your clothes like they advertise it for here. Please, if it's something that you're doing, reconsider. I don't know why I didn't even think of baking soda early on and I just jumped straight to bleach. Like, baking soda is so powerful, right? I actually remembered one time in my old apartment, I had tiles on the floor and I had pineapple juice pour on the floor and I didn't know, like, it was there like overnight. And by the time I came back, the pineapple juice had seeped into the tiles and stained the tiles inside. Like, mopping and cleaning could not clean it off. I remember going on Google trying to figure out how to actually get rid of the pineapple stain, the pineapple juice stain. And I remember like this article that said you should mix baking soda with lemon juice or something like that. Or was it baking soda with water? I think it was baking soda with lemon juice, and make a thick paste, put it on the tile. And I was so skeptical because I was like, how is this going to work? But guys, baking soda literally pulled the stain out from within the tile. So baking soda is a very good cleaning agent. Consider it, and it's not as harmful as some of these detergents and bleach. Sometime last year, I shared me getting glass bottles from Miniso for my water. Guys, I stopped buying bottled water. This was not a last year thing, right? So when I initially moved to Lagos, I would go and buy like water in packs. Like, this is what we would do at home where I moved from. Even when I was in school, this is what I would do. I'll buy bottled water in packs, right? And I'll drink it or I'll drink them. And when I moved to Lagos, it was such an unconscious thing. Guys, Lagos, we have a drainage problem, right? We have so many plastic bottles everywhere. When the sewers are open, you can see them. When the gutters are open, you can see them. We don't really dispose of these things well. So I think it was just like an unconscious thing. So I went from buying these packs to I switched to a water dispenser and I started buying Seaway. So what I normally do now, and Seaway is actually one of the best tasting water that I've ever tried. If you're worried about taste, this is not in any way sponsored by Seaway. But then what I do now is I get glass bottles from the grocery store, from Mini. So wherever I see cute glass bottles, I buy. And then I fill them up with water and I put them in the fridge. Guys, it is so much better than buying the packs. Please think of Lagos and pity for Lagos. That's what I was just thinking, guys. Just think about it. And even with the trash, like you accumulate more trash than you would on a normal week if you weren't going through bottles and bottles of water. They're also not necessarily the best thing for the environment. They're not good for the environment at all. If you can switch to maybe dispensers, because dispensers, you never get rid of the containers. You just keep exchanging it every time you need a new gallon of water. There's no waste. The type of waste you get with bottled water. So I don't buy bottled water anymore. That I'll drink bottled water is maybe one if I go to a restaurant and I ask them to give me water and that is what they bring. Or let's say I forgot my bottle of water and I get somewhere and I'm so thirsty, I could pop into the grocery store and get bottled water. But on a normal day, it's not something that I would do anymore. So one thing I stopped doing last year was I stopped buying jewelry from fast fashion brands. And when I say fast fashion brands, I mean like high street brands, like, you know, Zara, H&M, Fashion Nova, like etc. Because one, jewelry is so cheap there, but then these things don't last. They actually don't last. So late last year, early this year, I've just gradually switched and moved over to gold plated jewelry or gold. Gold can be very, very expensive. So maybe move to gold plated first, because at least with those, you get better value for your money. Like sometime last year, I just started and I just actually thought about it. Just thought about how much of this cheap jewelry that I've gotten and how much of it you can actually get, because they're so cheap and the price is so attractive, and then you buy every possible style that is in trend, right? I actually sat down and I thought about all the money that I've spent on all those jewelry, and I could actually use it to get 4 or 5 quality gold plated jewelry that you get good wear out of. You can even wash your hands with them. And then the fact that I would lose them so often, because you can't even come out from a restaurant and go wash your hand in a sink. And last year was the year of hand washing. Okay, we washed our hands more than regular last year, and you couldn't even wear these things. So sometimes I'll go to wash my hand and I'll forget it where I went to. So if you can actually just do it, think about how, like, the amount of money it would take you to maybe get 10 of those jewelry or 5 or 6 of them like you normally would. Actually put that money together and get something gold plated, 1 or 2 of it. There are a couple of people that sell gold plated jewelry that I have tried. One place that I ordered from last year is Miss Umeh. I hope that I got the name right. And they delivered to Nigeria. They delivered to me here via FedEx, and their jewelry is really, really good. Like, the quality is good, and I know that at least I'm going to wear them for a couple of years before I start thinking of replacing. Okay, gold plated jewelry lasts. It's not going to ring off or wash off or start fading within a couple of months or even weeks. Another thing that I stopped, and this was not even last year, I stopped doing a while back, and I remember that I got the offer to do it sometime last year, and I was actually tempted, but I was like, what is the point? I don't do it anymore. So this is a service and not even products, it's facials. Like, I don't go to spas to pay for facials anymore. Like, I did it a couple of times in the past, and guys, my skin actually got worse than it was before I went to where I went to. And to be fair, there are a lot of spas and people who give this type of treatments who actually know what they are doing, but a good number of them don't know what they are doing. I've seen people go and get treatments that actually leave their pores wider. That's the reason why you go to these places and end up breaking out more than you actually did when you went there. You can do facials at home, and I think it's a lot cheaper if you actually get these products and figure out what your skin needs. There are nice exfoliating scrubs, gentle ones that you can use at home. There's steaming, there are even like the extractor tools that you can get from Amazon. I got one recently from Amazon. There are exfoliating brushes that you can get. You get these things and then you set a routine and do them maybe once every week or once every 2 weeks or once every month, depending on how much you need them. But they tend to also be very overpriced most of the time for something that you just go and get once, right? Like, it's not something that I spend money on anymore. And it's not something that I'm going to be spending any money on in 2021. When I was kind of struggling with new forehead breakouts sometime last year that I shared with you guys, like, I was so tempted at a point because someone kept talking about this place that I should go to, but I figured out how to clear those things out myself. Just pay attention to your skin and actually pay attention to what it receives well and what it does not receive well. Another service again that I will not be paying for this year is gym membership. I am so sorry if you own a gym or if it is something that you actually find joy or derive joy from, but I'm not going to be doing that again. I've had times like, see, there was a point in my life where I had automatic debit set up for a gym that like the plan was every month they would take the money out of my account, and I thought that that was going to be enough incentive to actually go to the gym. But the thing about working out is that it has to be a mental thing. You have to be ready to do it. If you leave it up to money and a couple of other things, you're not going to be as consistent as you think you are going to be. But for me, it's just like living in Lagos and traffic, right? Not having a gym close to you, I'll just say find home workouts and do them, right? Because sometimes you see that by the time you get from your house to the gym, you spend so much time. And sometimes because of how bad the experience was going to the gym, maybe even in the past week, you dread going to the gym. So for me, that's what my reasons are. I don't necessarily have a gym that is very close to me. I spend so much money on it and I never get value for my money. And I've found personally that I am more effective and more efficient and more disciplined when it comes to at-home workouts. So if you're someone who gets frustrated every time you pay for the gym, the money ends up going to waste, you don't use it, consider home workouts. A lot of us discovered it again last year during lockdown. So yeah. Something else that I stopped doing, and I think that some of my fellow content creators can relate to this, is buying new filming equipment. I did not buy any new filming equipment last year. The last one I bought was 2019. I actually went through this very terrible phase where I always thought that I had to get new filming equipment for my videos to look a certain way. Guys, people don't come back to your channel because of, I don't know, your camera or lens, in as much as these things are pleasing and people can come back because of how good your quality is, but then that's not the only reason why they will come back. There's so many other reasons. So don't get hung up on equipment. I used to get hung up on that. Sometimes I'll watch someone's video and I'll be like, for me to do this type of video that they did, I need to go buy XYZ. You don't need to do that. And gadgets, they are not cheap. It's actually a very bad type of addiction or obsession to develop, because I went through this phase where I always felt that I had to get something new. I had to keep getting something new, and in a year I would spend so much on filming equipment or just little things that I did not necessarily need, or I would use once and I never find a reason to use them again. So yeah, you don't need to keep buying new filming equipment, and I have stopped. And I think that I'll keep figuring out how to work with what I have. Like even my vlogging camera, I had started like winning myself, because my vlogging camera, the last one, I did not replace it till it died, right? So just try to replace things when there is a need. When there is actually a legitimate need, replace things then. Don't just buy it because of, I don't know, what you've seen online. It's a very bad way to spend money. Okay, so the next thing that I also, to be honest, this one, I don't think that I've actually ever, but I think I tried it once and I was like, what the hell? And a couple of you have asked me questions around this, but I am not really big on seasonal decorations. Maybe it's because of where I am in my life right now, but I would never be the one to go up and go to the store and buy a Christmas tree. Like, I thought about it last year. Like I said, I had done something like this in the past because of pressure. And I thought about doing it again last year because so many people were getting really ready for Christmas, Easter, I'm not big on seasonal decorations. Like, these things should come and go. We are still here. So like, that's what I would say. Like, I'm not really big on seasonal decorations, and it's not something that I also intend to spend money on this year. I guess maybe if I get to a point in my life where I find people who are excited about it, then I will indulge them. But I think that it's just ridiculous to every new year you buy a tree. Every December you buy a tree. Every December you buy Christmas decorations. Like, you take them down. Sometimes you don't know what happens to them the rest of the year. And then the next year there's this new style of decoration, and then you need to buy new ones. Like, I don't know. I'm not big on seasonal decorations, and it's not something that I will be buying in 2021 or ever continue buying again. I'm not doing that. But this is just such a personal thing for me, because I know that a lot of you actually have strong feelings towards seasonal decorations. They're just not my thing. So the last thing that I have on my list is candles. Guys, I love candles. I've said that, and I've said that to you guys several times, and if you know me, you know this. But I got to a point last year where I asked myself, you dey craze? Is it madness? Right? I have so many candles that I have not burned, and I was still buying more. Like, if someone just talks about this new candle, I want to go and buy it. Guys, they're also not necessarily the cheapest things to buy, depending on what brand you're buying from. Like, I would buy, and then sometimes I remember when I'll travel, Candles can be so heavy, and then you dedicate a certain section in your suitcase to candles. But then last year I got a lot of candles as gifts, plus the ones I bought. Like with almost every other PR package, someone was giving me a candle, and then people will travel and they'll give me candles. I have an entire drawer right now dedicated to candles, so no, I will not be buying more candles in 2021. So I thought that this video was like really fun to do, and it was going to be very, very helpful for those of you who are probably looking for alternatives for the first couple of things that I mentioned. And tell me what you're no longer buying this year, and tell me why you will no longer buy those things this year. It might actually even like influence me to actually cut out more things. Honestly, find ways to save money. So let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to me if you are not yet subscribed. I'll see you guys in my next one.